Dad and Sophia Talk. Hey everyone, welcome to Dad and Sophia Talk, the podcast for upper intermediate English learners who want to understand real conversations about real life. If you're a B2 or C1 level and you want to practice natural English while learning about career, culture, and life, you're in the right place. I'm Sophia. I'm finishing my master's in communication and business. And yes, I'm drowning in this job market just like you.
And I'm David, Sophia's dad. I'm a software engineer and IT manager. I came to the United States 30 years ago to go to university. I stayed here and built my career.
So Dad's English is fluent. He's been here for 30 years, but he's not a native speaker. Sometimes he makes small mistakes with idioms or slang, and when he does, I'll gently correct him. That's how you learn.
Yes. Sometimes Sophia uses words I have never heard in my life.
Fair. So here's the deal. This podcast is designed for upper intermediate learners. That means we speak naturally, but we explain the tricky parts. Dad brings the immigrant tech perspective. I bring the millennial communication perspective. And together, we'll help you understand English and the crazy world we're living in. Today's episode, the 3 survival strategies for the AI job market, because entry-level jobs are disappearing, and we need to talk about it.
Let's start with the big question. Why is this happening?
Great question. Let's dive in. Okay, so Dad, you know what I found that's absolutely wild?
What?
Entry-level jobs are just vanishing, like literally disappearing.
Disappearing? What do you mean exactly?
In the last 2 years, AI has basically eaten about 13% of junior positions. Gone.
13%? Wow, that's a sharp decline. We've certainly felt the pressure in IT to automate, but I didn't realize the impact was already that severe on the junior level. That is significant.
Right? Think about it. All those entry-level data entry jobs, gone. Basic coding tasks, gone. Junior financial analyst positions, AI is doing them now.
So what happens to young people who need their first job to build experience? This is the tough part. From a manager's perspective, it's often more cost-effective to buy an automated tool than to commit to 3 years of junior training.
Exactly. That's the paradox. You need experience to get a job, but you need a job to get experience. The bottom rung of the ladder is missing.
When I came to America, there was always something. Even a difficult job was still a job. We valued persistence and on-the-job learning. You could start somewhere.
Yes, that's what's changed. The somewhere to start doesn't exist anymore. And here's the kicker. The jobs that are left, they're getting absolutely slammed with applications.
How many applications are we talking about?
One entry-level position now gets about 3 to 4 times more applicants than it did in 2022. For remote jobs, sometimes 8 times more.
Wow, that is, what's the expression? A feeding frenzy?
Yes, Dad, a feeding frenzy. Perfect idiom. So you're not just competing against other humans anymore. You're competing against the AI that might replace the job entirely. Hundreds of other desperate applicants. And worst of all, the ATS.
The ATS? That applicant tracking system we talked about in episode 1? I thought we already solved that keyword matching problem. Why is it the worst of all?
It's getting worse, Dad. It's not just the system. It's the sheer number of applicants it's now rejecting. You won't believe the stats. Oh, Dad, buckle up. This is where it gets really frustrating. The robot gatekeeper. So, the ATS, the applicant tracking system. You remember from last episode? It's that robot gatekeeper. But Dad, here's the scary part. This thing is rejecting 68% of candidates now. Even good ones. That's insane.
Yeah, 68%. We talked about that stat last time, and it's still that bad everywhere. As a hiring manager, I see it every day. We're throwing away good people just to save time.
Exactly. Companies are fine with it because it's faster for HR. But for job seekers, it's totally unfair.
I know the system is dumb, but is it still just about keywords? Can't it figure out synonyms yet?
Oh, it's definitely still keywords, Dad. But here's the thing. It's also about formatting. And that's where people get screwed. Some ATS systems can't even read PDFs properly. They only want plain text. So if you use a fancy resume template, with columns or icons, the system just can't read it. It sees gibberish.
Yeah, we talked about this in the last episode. This is still happening everywhere, right? People still don't know.
Exactly. Most people have no idea. They think a beautiful resume will impress HR, but the robot never even sees it.
I had this happen to someone on my team last month. Actually, a really talented engineer applied internally for a different position. I knew he was perfect for it, but the ATS rejected him because his resume had a 2-column layout. I only found out because he came to me directly.
See? That's the problem. If he hadn't known you personally, he would have just been rejected. No explanation. No human ever saw his resume.
Right. And that's the other scary part. Most people don't get that chance. They just get the automated rejection email and never know why.
Exactly. And it's not just formatting. The keyword matching is brutal. Let me give you the classic example. A job posting says they want someone who's highly resilient.
Right. Strong. Can bounce back from problems. That's what resilient means.
Exactly. On your resume, you wrote robust work ethic instead.
Robust. Resilient. Same thing. Any human would know that.
But the robot doesn't know that, Dad. It's looking for the exact word. Resilient. That's it. No synonyms. No context.
This is why people get so discouraged. You're not rejected by a person. You're rejected by a machine that can't think.
It is frustrating. And it feels personal, but it's not. It's just bad software. Here's another example that drives me crazy. Let's say the job description says team player.
Okay. Someone who works well with others, collaborates effectively.
Right. But on your resume, you wrote strong collaborative skills and effective cross-functional communication.
That's better than just saying team player. It's more specific.
I know. But the ATS doesn't care. It's looking for those exact 2 words, team and player, next to each other. You used synonyms. 0 points.
So you're telling me that being more articulate and professional actually hurts you?
In the eyes of the robot, yes. The irony is painful.
This is broken. And I'm part of the problem. My company uses this system too. I've complained about it, but HR says it's the only way to handle the volume of applications.
Right. And that's why companies won't fix it. It's efficient for them. They'd rather reject 68% of candidates than hire more HR people to actually read resumes.
The cost-benefit analysis is insane. We're losing top talent to save money on HR staff.
Exactly. And here's the worst part. The ATS doesn't just reject you silently. It also ranks the candidates it does accept.
So even if you pass the keyword test, you might be ranked number 47 out of 50, and the hiring manager only looks at the top 10.
Exactly. So you passed the robot, but you're still invisible to humans.
Okay, so we need to help people beat this thing. How do we get past this broken system?
That's what the rest of the episode is for. Good news is, we have a plan, and it works.
Good. I'm ready. Let's give people real solutions.
AI-resistant skills.
I know this concept, but let's hear your Gen Z version. Strategy number 1?
All right, here it is. Strategy 1. Develop AI-resistant skills.
AI-resistant? We call that soft skills in management. Why do you think we need a new term?
Because the urgency is different now, Dad. It means focus on skills AI is really bad at. The threat is real now.
You're right. I see it in my IT department. AI can write basic code now, so those easy coding jobs are disappearing. My junior developers need to adapt fast.
Exactly. But here's the thing. AI can write code, but it can't handle the messy human parts of work. That's what makes you valuable.
Right. So tell me, what are the hardest parts of my job that AI can't touch?
Well, you taught me this, Dad. Negotiation, handling difficult clients, reading between the lines, understanding emotions, office politics, all that human stuff.
Good. You remembered. Those interpersonal skills. That's what gets you promoted, not just surviving.
Exactly. The more human interaction your job needs, the safer you are. Let's use your developer example. A junior developer who just codes. That job's vulnerable, right?
Very vulnerable. AI can do that.
But they can also talk to clients, understand vague requirements, translate tech language into normal language, negotiate deadlines. Now, they're not just a coder. You'd promote them to technical account manager. That job is safe.
Exactly. You're adding the human layer on top of technical skills. That's how I built my career, actually.
Perfect, Dad. So here's the homework for everyone listening. Pick one human skill to develop this month. Public speaking, negotiation, conflict resolution, cross-cultural communication, something that requires emotional intelligence, because that keeps you employed.
This saved me. When I came to America, my English was okay, but I was really good at understanding what people meant, even when they didn't say it directly. That skill got me through.
Yes, reading subtext, totally human. AI can't do that. It's priceless. All right. Strategy 1, done. Let's move to strategy 2. This one's my favorite. Strategy 2, use AI as your co-pilot.
I like the term co-pilot. We call this co-evolution in the IT strategy world. But how do we apply that to a highly competitive job search?
Exactly. We're not fighting AI. We're using it better than everyone else.
If you can't beat them, join them. I teach this to my team for process improvement. Tell me, specifically, how do you use AI for your job search?
Great question, Dad. Let me give you 2 powerful tricks that I actually use. Trick number 1, resume optimization. Remember that stupid ATS robot that looks for keywords?
The applicant tracking system. Yes, we are forced to use it to filter the initial noise. It is indeed a stupid keyword filter. I remember.
Here's how you beat it. Take the job description, copy it, paste it into ChatGPT or Gemini. Then ask, what are the top 10 keywords in this job description?
This is what we call prompt engineering. Very strategic. And then?
The AI will tell you exactly which words the ATS is looking for. Then you ask, how can I naturally include these keywords in my resume?
So you're using the intelligent AI to defeat the outdated AI. As a hiring manager, I can immediately tell who did this homework. Their resumes match the job description perfectly. This is what I call fighting fire with fire.
Yes, you're using smart AI to beat dumb AI. It's beautiful.
That is very clever. What's the second trick?
Trick number 2, interview practice. Let's say I have an interview at, I don't know, Microsoft.
Big company. Difficult interview process. Behavioral questions will focus heavily on their core values.
Right, so I go to ChatGPT and I say, act like a Microsoft recruiter. I'm interviewing for this job title. Quiz me on behavioral questions based on Microsoft's culture values.
I know the technology has this capability. The simulation quality must be excellent now. It can simulate a real recruiter?
It'll do exactly that. It's like having a free personal interview coach available 24/7.
This is an immense advantage for the new generation. But Sophia, here's my manager warning. There is a dark side to this AI trend, and I know exactly what it is.
Dark side? What do you mean? The dark side.
I'm seeing something very disturbing in the hiring world, Sophia. Some companies are exploiting desperate job seekers. They assign massive test projects, 10, 20 hours of real work, and then they just steal the ideas and never hire anyone.
Wait, that's legal? They can just take your work for free? That is appalling.
Unfortunately, they call it assessing your skills. But as a hiring manager who is ethical, I have to say this is appalling. It is stealing the labor and intellectual property from young people who are desperate for a job. It damages the reputation of entire hiring sector.
Dad, you said the reputation of entire hiring sector. You need the article there. The reputation of the entire hiring sector. Small detail, but it sounds more natural.
The entire hiring sector. Yes, you're right. Thank you.
So how do I protect myself from this scam? What does a senior manager advise?
Here is the protection strategy I teach my mentees. If a company asks for a project that will take you over 4 hours to complete, you must ask 2 non-negotiable questions. Question 1. Will one be compensated for my time? This is a polite but firm professional question. Your time has value. Do not apologize for asking. Question 2. Can I submit a redacted version to protect my intellectual property? For example, using placeholder names instead of real client names or using mock data.
And if they say no to both questions?
If they demand full, uncompensated, unprotected work, it is a huge red flag. Walk away. No legitimate company will refuse these reasonable requests. It is a fundamental test of their character.
Good advice, Dad. Always protect your value. That's what you always taught me.
Always protect your value. Never give away expertise for free. That is a mistake I wish I knew earlier in my career.
Strategy 2. Complete. Let's move to the final strategy. Strategy 3. Target niche markets. This is where you escape the massive competition completely.
Niche. I know this word from business strategy. We call it specialization. But how does that help me get a job? Does it not limit my options too much?
It seems counterintuitive, but it actually multiplies your value because it eliminates most of your competition. Instead of being a generic data scientist, a huge ocean, 10,000 applicants for every opening, you transform into a data scientist specializing in renewable energy logistics. A small pond, maybe 50 highly qualified applicants.
This is the classic risk versus reward calculation. You are trading the visibility of a big, recognizable job title for the security of a smaller, more specific domain. That is a strategic decision that requires courage.
Precisely. Here's the formula our listeners should write down. Technical skill plus industry equals niche. Let's try a few examples. If you are a content writer and you add the fintech industry, you become a fintech content strategist. You're creating a category where your expertise is rare and therefore valuable. You are the only person who can write about blockchain compliance with a clear narrative.
I see the value, and I see the leverage. When I hire a general developer, I can find 1,000 resumes. When I need an ERP specialist with specific experience in healthcare billing systems, I can only find 5. Those 5 people have all the power in the negotiation. That is the real lesson here.
Exactly. The other huge advantage? The application for a niche role is more likely to be read by a human expert, the actual VP or director who understands the technicality, not the ATS robot. Because the company knows this specialized role is hard to fill, they override the automated system to check manually. You bypass the 68% rejection rate entirely.
This is smart. This is risk management for the applicant. It means they don't have to play the keyword game as strictly. That is a massive time saver.
Now, Dad, I need your manager perspective on a cultural issue. In many cultures, everyone wants you to work for a famous, large company, like Google or Samsung. A small niche company is not impressive. How do we deal with this social pressure?
That is such a relevant question, especially for those in the Gen X and immigrant community. My generation valued the stability and perceived status of the big name. But here is the modern reality. The big name does not equal stability anymore.
You've changed, Dad. That is a difficult truth to accept, but it is the truth. We often use the term job security for this. Specialized skills protect your job security, not the big brand name.
I like that. Job security. Good catch. Let me continue. We are seeing massive, sudden layoffs at Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. I know this from my network. They can afford to fire 10,000 people tomorrow. But a small, profitable niche company where your specific skill is critical to their survival, where you are the only renewable energy logistics data scientist, you are much safer. You are an indispensable asset.
Exactly. That is the difficult truth. The job title is less important than your scarcity. For a higher C-level, we often use the word leverage. You could say, your scarcity in the market gives you maximum leverage.
Leverage. That is a great word. It sounds more powerful. My scarcity gives me maximum leverage. I like that.
Perfect. That's it. 3 strategies locked in. Let's quickly recap before we move on to our bonus segment on mindset. Quick recap. All right, Dad, as the manager, give us the final executive summary of the 3 strategies.
Strategy 1. Develop AI-resistant skills. Focus on the human element. Interpersonal skills are your defense. Strategy 2. Use AI as your co-pilot. Use the technology to beat the outdated systems, like the ATS. It is an efficiency tool. Strategy 3. Target niche markets. Don't compete in the general market. Be a rare asset in a specialized domain to gain maximum leverage.
Excellent summary, Dad. Now for the bonus segment, let's talk about the mindset you need to make all of this work. Bonus. The resilience mindset. Dad, we've finished the strategies, but you always taught me that the biggest advantage is a strong mindset. Let's talk about the confidence reset.
The mindset. Yes. If the foundation is cracked, the whole building falls. What is the biggest mindset challenge you see in Gen Z?
I mean, the rejection rates are brutal. People take the ATS rejection personally. It's incredibly discouraging.
I know that feeling too well. After I graduated from my American university, I was rejected by maybe 30 or 40 firms. It wasn't my technical skills, it was the cultural fit and a slightly broken English. It was very discouraging.
How did you, a highly skilled engineer, handle that discouraging feeling?
We had the persistence mindset Dad's term. We just kept trying. We focused on the next action, not the last emotion.
That persistence is key, Dad. But in the AI era, we update that concept from persistence to the data-driven mindset. It's not just about trying harder. It's about learning faster.
Learning faster? Explain that.
Yes, every rejection is data, not destiny. If the ATS rejects you, it's not saying you're a bad person. It's saying you're missing keyword number 7. You taught me this.
Correct. So don't take it personally.
Exactly. Separate your self-worth from the robot's opinion. The robot doesn't know you. It only knows keywords. And here's the other key. Adaptability. Companies now want people who can learn new skills in under 6 months. So your resume shouldn't just show what you know. It should show how fast you learn.
So the modern resume is like a learning transcript?
Dad, that's perfect. Yes, show velocity, not just volume.
I like that. Velocity, not volume.
Now, Dad, let's get into the tactical side. Tell our listeners about your managerial tool, the rejection log.
Yes. The rejection log. This is a simple system I use to train my junior engineers to defeat imposter syndrome. It is evidence-based confidence.
Tell us about it.
It's simple. You log every application and every rejection. But you also log every positive step, every interview, every compliment, and every small win. When you feel like an imposter, you don't use your emotions. You look at the log and you see, I got 5 rejections, but I also got 3 interviews. Your confidence is now based on evidence, not fear.
That's incredibly effective, Dad. When you said you look at the log and you see, a more professional business phrase to emphasize the data is you can visibly track your progress. It emphasizes the process.
Visibly track my progress. Yes, that is much better. I will use that. I used this log with a brilliant young engineer who was crushed after failing an interview at a top firm. He looked at his log and saw he had interviewed at 6 other places. The data showed he was in high demand. He just needed one more try.
That shifts the focus entirely. The log proves you are a competitor in the market, even if you haven't won the final prize yet. It turns a mental block into an actionable process.
Right. My mentor told me, the job market does not reward hesitation.
I love that. The data-driven mindset is ultimately about taking action. Fail fast, learn faster. That's how you eventually beat the paradox of experience. All right, that wraps up the core segment. Let's move to our final segment for the listeners, the homework. Action items. Your weekly homework. Okay, everyone. This is the most important part of the episode. We're giving you 3 concrete action items to complete this week. Action item number 1. The LinkedIn Warm Introduction Challenge.
Warm introduction. That is just good business. We call that networking with political capital. What is the modern application of this concept on LinkedIn?
Here's your homework. Open LinkedIn. Find 3 people in your target niche. Don't ask them for a job. Instead, comment on their recent post or send a message saying, "I really appreciated your article about this topic. Here's my perspective on this related thing."
So you're establishing credibility and offering value first. That is exactly the professional standard. You are making a deposit before making a withdrawal.
Exactly. You're building a relationship. And research shows that a warm intro increases your interview chances by 10 times.
10 times. The ROI on that small effort is immense. Okay, action item number 2, the 1-week project.
This is for strategy 3, niche markets. Your homework. Spend 1 day this week building a tiny project that demonstrates your niche skill.
1 day. You're using the proof of concept methodology. Very efficient. That's what we do in it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to exist to prove the capability.
For example, if you want to work in healthcare data, spend a day migrating a fake patient dataset. Put it on GitHub. Boom, you now have a visible skill that 99% of other applicants don't have.
You're creating your own experience instead of waiting for someone to give it to you. That is true ownership. We call that driving the solution.
Exactly. Don't wait for permission. Make your own experience. And finally, action item number 3, the AI scavenger hunt. Take a job description you're interested in. Feed it to ChatGPT or Gemini. Ask, what is the single most important skill this description implies but doesn't directly state?
You are teaching them to look for the unspoken requirement. That is the skill of an executive. It trains you to think like a recruiter.
Yes. You're learning to read between the lines, which is a super AI-resistant skill. It's about psychological inference.
So all 3 action items are about being proactive, not reactive. They're all about taking control of your career path.
Dad, that's a great executive summary. Yes, you're taking control instead of waiting for permission. All right, that's all the time we have for this episode. Thank you for sharing your incredible manager wisdom. Listeners, Q&A. This question comes from Ji-hoon in Seoul. He asks, "My company is forcing us to use AI, but my boss doesn't even know how to use it. How can I use AI as a co-pilot when my whole company is behind the curve?"
Oh yeah, see this all the time. Every company has this problem. My boss is the same way.
Really, Dad? So how would you handle this situation?
I would say, Ji-hoon, this is actually perfect for you. You quietly learn the AI tools. Then you help your boss. Make your boss look good. That's how you build. What's the word? Political leverage?
Political capital, Dad. That's the right term. And yeah, that's exactly the strategy. Let me give you a real example. Ji-hoon, use AI to study your boss's old reports. Look at the tone, the keywords, how they write. Then use AI to help you write new reports in that same style. You become the perfect team member.
Let me add a specific example from my team. I had a junior engineer who did exactly this. His manager always writes reports with 3 bullet points and ends with next steps. So he used ChatGPT to analyze that pattern, then used it to draft his own reports in the same format. His manager loved it, promoted him in 6 months.
That's perfect, Dad. See, Ji-hoon? Your boss will think you're not only good at technology, but you're also making their life easier. That's how you move up. So, Ji-hoon, your company being behind? That's not a problem. That's your chance to be the go-to AI person.
Good question, Ji-hoon. The key is always finding your advantage in the situation.
Great advice, Dad. Okay, we're almost out of time. Let's wrap this up. Final thought. All right, everyone. We've covered a lot today. Let's do a final summary. The job market is broken. Entry-level jobs are disappearing because of AI. The ATS is a stupid robot that rejects good people. Competition is insane. But you are not helpless. You have 3 strategies.
Strategy 1. Develop AI-resistant skills, the human stuff.
Strategy 2. Use AI as your co-pilot. Beat the robots by using the robots.
Strategy 3. Target niche markets. Find your specialized pond where you can be the biggest fish.
Perfect, Dad. And remember, treat rejection as data, not destiny. Keep a rejection log. Visibly track your progress, learn fast, adapt faster, and keep going.
You can do this.
We believe in you. Seriously, the system is broken, but you are not broken. You just need the right strategy. If this episode helped you, please leave us a review and tell us which strategy you're going to try first. We read every single comment.
And please subscribe. Next week, we're talking about salary negotiation in the AI era. How to ask for a raise when your boss thinks AI can do half your job.
Ooh, that's going to be a spicy one, Dad. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Sophia.
And I'm David. Good luck out there, everyone.
See you in next episode.